when you're brand new or you've been established for a while as a business owner in the health and wellness field, there's these questions that we ask people and we never really know what to ask them. We want to provide an opportunity for someone to select the correct products. We also want to provide an opportunity to keep the person moving towards their goal for the long run. Am I right? Right? That's the goal. So I'm Aimée Darling. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to explain and walk you through the framework that works, that I created from being a nutrition professional, being a successful entrepreneur in network marketing. And I want to introduce you to a very special woman. This is Iris. She is the one that is making things happen so that the closed captioning comes together for us. And so she's giving up her time and everything so generously. And I wanted to practice to show you what I say to increase your confidence and also to take you to the next level with how you retain that person. Because at the end of the day, we are a company that's not about selling a bunch of supplements. We're a company that is about seeing transformation. And our supplements are a big part of that. And so I wanted to introduce you to Iris, but I also wanted to say she's going to be like our mock customers today. Okay, so I want to make sure I stay on track. So this would be like my squiggly. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we have two people we're going to work with today. So we're giving you a power-packed, quick video. So, and you'll see me ask the same questions both times. So be gentle on me, Iris. So, all right, Iris, who are you first?
So I'm George, all right? And George has the man spare tire. And he wants it gone, but his life is totally nonstop. In fact, he says he eats 5 days a week at a restaurant. Now, he prefaced when he does, he tries to eat as healthy as possible, but he really needs help with nutrition and weight loss.
Okay, so this is where we stop. Behind the scenes, you, the ambassador, do not want to begin to just tell George, well, here's what you need to do. Because men and women, we both do that, and that's a mistake. You may or may not have a relationship with George, so it's super important. He might have been referred to you because you're being consistent in your own health journey. And so what we want to think about is that George, we need to ask him questions. Now, typically, most men just want to get to the point, and they don't want to be led down a long path. Now, if they need to be led down a longer path, we will do that with our next person, our next mock that we're going to do next. But let's talk about George. I want you to understand where that spare tire typically comes from. We're not medical professionals. We can't tell George to stop going to see his doctor. We can't tell George to stop taking medications. We can't claim anything that's going to be miraculous because we've added supplements that are ninja awesome into the mix. Notice that I take notes. Okay, so I'm a note taker. I have to make sure that I am taking notes about what someone says. So whether I'm on the phone or I'm person to person, I'm listening. I am not going to automatically give George the here's what it is that you should do. Okay, even though I might know, it takes a second. Spare tires, often related to blood sugar imbalance. Do we have something for that? You betcha. Okay, that is definitely, I'm already thinking it, but I need him to own it. So before I tell him what to do, I'm going to ask him questions. Here's where you grab your pencil, pen, crayon, whatever you got. And I'm going to say, George, tell me what you believe you want to do to make a change. Tell me what you're looking for. And I pull out more information. So George would say,
you know, I want to feel better and I want to get rid of the weight. My life is so stressful. It's nonstop. I know eating at restaurants isn't a great thing. So I want something that's going to help me. I want it to be easy. I don't want some big thing. You know, I don't have time to run 5 miles a day and lift 1 million weights. I need something simple. I need something simple that can go with a nonstop life.
Okay. So George, tell me this. What do you think you're doing really well right now?
You know what? I heard on a thing I watched that drinking water was important. I drink a lot of water.
Okay, that's excellent because that's going to be a big part of this for the long haul.
Yep.
Because honestly, anything that you choose to do as we move forward, we want it to stick, right? We don't want to start, stop. Have you ever lost weight, gained weight, felt
Oh,
great, felt bad?
yep.
Are you
Yep.
ready to get off that merry-go-round?
Yeah, that's why I'm talking to you.
Okay, excellent. This is where it's important to keep bringing this back to George because you want to clarify, is he just looking for a quick fix? Then we're not the answer. Okay, it's not my job to try and talk him into it. All right, so we know some key things. He's looking, so we're sleuths, y'all. We know that he's looking to increase energy. We know that he's looking to drop weight. We know that the weight is around the middle. And then, so then I can just say to him, so I'm a little curious, are you familiar with blood sugar balance, gut health, how that could possibly be leading to some of that gut fat that you've got going on, like the middle tire you were telling me about? Notice I use his words, okay? So George, are you familiar with maybe the role that blood sugar could play in those ups and downs?
You know, I heard my uncle has diabetes. I heard that blood sugar plays a role in that. I know he has trouble with weight loss, so
Okay.
maybe
So
it's connected.
George, what basically happens from what I've learned as I've worked with the product and taken the product, when my husband started, we had a lot of cravings. We were eating a lot of carbohydrate. We weren't eating very much fat or protein. And it was a lot of easy on the go food. And what happens, what I've learned, and I can show you a link if you want to learn more, I can take you back to our Plexus website. One of the things that is happening is that the body begins to store fat because the blood sugar is not balanced. And I'm curious to know if you could start in one place, either the blood sugar balancing, the cravings, the making those better decisions, or if you could start with weight loss and energy. Like, where would you start? Are you going to be energy focused, or do we want to begin, or do we want to be weight focused, or like that whole tire focused? No,
Probably.
cravings, I apologize. Cravings or weight? Where do we want to start?
I would probably say cravings. That would probably be where I need to start, because I think that would help. I just, snacking in the evenings is a big issue.
Okay. And do you like shakes or do you not like shakes?
Yeah, I like shakes. Yeah, I can do that. I mean, that's nice because I'm on the go. And I've done that before. I picked up some stuff from GNC one time.
Okay. So simply, you sound like a great match for us. You sound like the first 30, 60 days together, 90 days, we can keep checking in with each other. And if we are looking at, now y'all, just so you know, I'm looking at my framework to make sure I stay on track. And so when I'm talking with George, I would simply say, you sound like a great match for us. The first 30, 60, 90 days, where let's keep checking and refining what you're taking. But to start, you sound like a great match for our Renew You package.
Nice.
And this is what it is. And I would show him. That would include some blood sugar balance, so Hunger Control Slim.
Yep.
That would also include, MetaBurn to help with some of that energy. That's kind of incidental. And then the lean, right? So I would walk him through 2 packages and just show him. You want to show him, this is where you bring out your phone and you look in your saved photos at the 2 different packages, because most of the people I attract are within basics. So then I would say, George, this is where we're going to start with some core health. And I'm going to add you, if it's okay, to a Facebook group that I co-run. And in that group, there'll be snack ideas that maybe in the future you can adopt. There'll be ways to make lean taste different over time. And if it's okay, we'll start very basic. And then as we change your subscription over the next 30, 60, 90 days, you'll be hearing about other products and you'll think, oh, I might like that better. Maybe my husband gets on and starts talking about, whatever. So this is where I would start. Does that, if you're going to add the slim, right? This is the drink that you originally saw me talking about. If we're going to add that, you can add that to water, shake it up and drink it as you go. Take your capsules of Metaburn, drink your shake, out the door. Does that sound like something you could incorporate into your day?
That's definitely doable. Definitely doable. It sounds simple enough.
Okay. So I would like to go ahead and set up some things with you, because absolutely, you were telling me you've started things in the past. I know I have too. Is there somebody in your life that we could create some accountability with? Maybe, you know, whether it's talking to, you know, your spouse or talking to your best friend, are there some people in your space that you could create some accountability with so that you stay on track when you want to ignore me?
Yeah, probably my brother. My brother and I are pretty tight. We probably talk every day, and I could loop him in on this. He's been bugging me about my health anyway.
Okay, perfect. So stop, right? Let's put George to the side. It's important, if you notice what I'm doing, I'm creating languaging so that the expectation of communication is there. I'm creating languaging where the expectation of a subscription is there. We're talking in terms of only 2 choices, not a ton. We're also talking in terms of where he can see himself going.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I know him well, if it's a woman, I tend to ask a little more. Sometimes I create for people where I would say, you know, George, if your ultimate health goal, like I usually will end with this, right? What's that ultimate health goal? Because I'm taking notes and I'm putting those notes into my Engage app. I'm putting those notes where they're just simple words. So then we're creating some accountability. This can help me lead to doing his first post. This could help me lead to having that first, you know, person on board that's a team member. But I'm not telling him what to do. I'm asking for him to go deeper with me. Okay. And over the course of some time, this is maybe like a 5 to 8 minute conversation. Right. And I will say again, this sounds like a great place to start on your health journey. George, do you have 5 minutes? We'll do this together.
Yep.
And then I will sign him up together so that I can walk him through, and I'll let him know your subscription, we're going to refine that over time. And I'll walk him through how to do it and sign him up and get him started. This is the bones of what I do. Okay. So if I had 5 basic questions, just to reiterate, before we move on to our mock person number 2, is number 1, I always ask, a variation of, what would you like to improve? I always want to know. If someone comes to me and they says, oh, I see you talking about slim and I really want to lose weight. And then we say, great, get a triplex. No, that's really not the answer, y'all. Okay. So the question is the power is in the question. Yeah. They have to own it. Mm. So what would you like to improve? Sometimes I'll even say, what are you doing well? You want them to anchor in what they know they can do, because the challenge becomes, for the long haul, if we wrap up in their head that they're a hot mess, they're not doing anything well, I will bring it back to what they've seen me do. I will bring it back. Remember why you started. Okay? Yes, you do know enough to tell a brand new person how to get started. You know enough. You do. Just ask them what they want. Show them how they can get it. Sign them up. You also know enough as you get going over the months and years in your business. You know enough to expand, right? In the very beginning, this is what I'll tattletale on myself. In the very beginning, it looked like this. George, I don't know. I'm taking these products. I feel so much better. I sleep better at night. I'm a nicer human. My kids like me better. This is what I bought. Let's get you some. That works. That dog and pony show took me all the way to Jewel. As I got a little better and I started looking at how do I refine the questions I'm asking so that I can connect a little bit more so that they stay. Because then what happened is they were flying out the door because I didn't follow up. Because it was like, well, I don't know why it doesn't work for you. Are you taking it? You're not taking it. So this is where I would just say, it's really 100% okay to start off being new like that and just say, I don't know, just come on. And then you put them in your Engage app and then it tells you when to follow up. It's not that hard. But the end of the day, if I'm really, because you ask me this, what am I really saying at this point 8 years later? This is what I'm saying 8 years later. In the beginning, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is what I say. Because I realized that I want bigger retention, and I realized I could plant seeds in a better way because I had become comfortable with how I was asking people questions, and I knew I was setting them up. See, this is how my brain thinks. I knew I was setting them up to be successful and have those opportunities for me to follow up. Because when you call somebody and you say, hey, how's it going? That's because you don't have any other information. But if you know what they're going to do next, then you can say, you still drinking that coffee? Put your Slim by your coffee pot. Okay? That's why. All right? One doesn't work better than the other. So Iris, is there anything, if you were brand new today, is there anything that you were brand new that I didn't do at George?
No, I really think that you covered it. I mean, this was so great. Your questions were, I mean, even as you were asking me the questions, you dropped 30, 60, 90 days perfectly. And so that already had me thinking, I'm going to be doing this for a while. And then the thought of accountability, how great is that? Like, no, I think you covered it really well. I think the questions were.
Last tactical thing I would say, what's coming next? We should do another video. But what I do next is connect them into that Facebook group. I ask, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Are you not on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? Should we text? Should we email? If you're not establishing those things, you're missing the point as a up and coming business owner that you have to meet your people where they are. Yes. If he's like, yeah, I'm on Facebook, I just don't say much, then I would say, I'm going to add you to a group. This is what it's called, right? Everybody in our company has some kind of group going on. Right. And I will add him to my group, and I will ATM, right? I will add I will tag on one post, tag, and I will mention. So then ATM, I would say, I would go through my group and I would look for something that gives basic information that's maybe another man that has seen success in his same desire. Because I need third-party validation that the little short chick with the excitement didn't just sell him, Florida, right? So I go in and I find, Bob, and I'll go in, I'll add George, I'll tag George in the bottom of that post, and I'll say, George, this is the direction that we're going. Look at Bob.
Yeah.
Even better if Bob's on the team, and Bob can then, I'll message Bob, hey, go comment on my boy George.
Exactly. Good.
Okay. So do you see how we're taking people by the arm? We're not doing it for them. We're not dragging. We're not trying to talk them into anything. We're giving them the opportunity to go deeper.
Yes.
And to stay the course, because you and I both know that the body takes 30, 60, 90 days to see change. The reason I ask what's your true goal is because when I recently added a farmer to our team, I thought it was gut health because she'd seen me talking about gut products. And I said, what do you want to focus on first? She said, weight loss. My jaw internally dropped in my head. I was like, you're vegan. And so understand, if you don't ask, you don't know. And then you don't connect them with what stays. And she's been here now with us for 7 months. And I'm blown away because that was her direction in her head. So don't assume. All right. So breaking point in the video. I see all your questions out there. We're getting there. Tell me about your next mock person, Iris.
All right, Sally. Now, Sally takes a caffeine pill to wake up and a sleeping pill to go to bed. She has no energy midday, and she just wants to know where to start. She knows something's got to give. She knows she can't sustain this long term. And what she's doing now is not working.
Okay. All right. So do I know Sally well, or do I not know Sally well?
You do know Sally well. Yep.
So this could be a, hey girl, get a grip conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and this is realistic.
Right.
How often do people in our, company, they quit before these blessings start coming full circle?
Right.
2 years later, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later, these Sallys will rotate back into your life because they thought they were fine until they weren't.
Yeah.
And you keep talking about the journey you're on and the excitement, right? You don't get bored with the story. Just keep telling the story because Sally's brewing.
Right.
So this is where Sally's contact me, and I will say, and we've established that right now is a great time to figure out how to get her started.
Right.
Okay. So this isn't, hey, Sally, I'm sending her another video. This is Sally's ready.
Yep.
So I would go back to my questions and I would say, Sally, what do you want to improve first?
I have got to be able to sleep and wake up. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't sustain this anymore. I keep seeing your posts and something about magnesium and sleeping or something. I need to be able to sleep and wake up without this stuff in my life. So I guess sleep, because I assume if I sleep better, I'll wake up.
Okay. So Sally, one of the articles I had talked about not that long ago was talking about how it takes the body some time to absorb nutrition. And I'll tag you on that, my friend, and then you can see what I was talking about so that you understand the reality of it took me months to get to a place where my body was calmed down enough and my gut health had improved enough for me to access sleep. Is that a path you're willing to stay on with me for a little bit?
Yeah, I've been, I mean, this is embarrassing. I've been taking a sleeping pill for 3 years. I can't do this anymore.
And you're not going to just stop taking your sleeping pill. You're going to keep, working with your doctor. If you're working with a doctor, you're not going to just, stop and switch. So what I look at is a lot of sleep has to do with exercise and diet. And we can go there as we move forward over the next, 30, 60, 90 days. I will add you, if it's okay. I know we're on Facebook. I'll add you to a group and we'll slowly start looking at some other things because there's wonderful recipes and there's great information. But for the now, am I correct that you're looking at a more natural solution to energy while you start to improve your body being able to calm down on its own?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you've seen me talking about the active drink. You've seen me talking about, the Metaburn. I've talked about some of these things. Now, y'all, putting Sally on the side, this is where I start looking at asking questions of, I don't want to get her a set that has 8 products that she's not going to take like immediately. I want to ask her, do you want a pill or do you want a drink? Capsule or drink? Because we might put her on active, but if she's so high in caffeinated junk, active may not feel like enough. So even though you and I are thinking, gosh, let's get her off of this stuff, she might need a transition period where you do get her active and you do get her Metaburn. And that's the set. So this is where I would say to Sally, do you want a drink or a capsule? And then you would tell me.
I like drinks. So probably a drink. I mean, I can take a capsule, I can do both, but I've always got something caffeinated in my hand.
Okay. So then the question goes back to her of, we're looking what she wants to do first. Sally has established that it's energy. So then we go back and we connect her to the right set. And so this is where I would say this set or this set. Now I don't have those in front of me right now, but I would open up my phone and say, it's going to be this one or this one. And then she would make that decision.
Right.
And then the next question that I have is, as we move forward, accountability is really going to be what helps you move forward. And as you have changes, are you open to us having that discussion, since we're friends, where you say you don't feel great and you really miss that habit, and maybe there's some things that are trying to float out of your body, and we need to start adding some different products to support some of that junk leaving. Are you open to some talking to anybody else for accountability? Are you good with me asking you questions?
Girl, just get me going. Yes.
All right. I'll stick my foot in your rear. So this would be this set or this set. And then she selects. Mm-hmm. And then I will then say, as we refine what you're taking, All I ever ask is, because we're friends and your friendship means the world to me, as you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. This may not be for you, and it's 100% okay. I love that you've come to me. I love that the timing is great. And as we move forward, we're going to change it. And then looking at what else you need to be doing as far as increasing nutrition, looking at adding that triplex this next month so that we can start helping the body at a core level. Because what we're addressing to begin with are really the adjunct products. They're the other layers. Okay. And so then I'll ask her, does she have a minute to sign up right now? She'll say yes, and we'll get her going. She'll become a customer and she'll roll. We'll talk about with her. I always ask, and I did not say this with George. I apologize. It's because she's a woman. And so for me, it's because she's a woman. With George, I'm like a boom, 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 boom. But we have a really strong male part of our team. So here's what I would say. I always end with, Sally, when these products do everything that I know they will, are you willing to continue to have the conversation about sharing with people you love?
Yes, absolutely.
And she'll say yes. So what I've done, so just to back up and reverse engineer as we end our time together today, let me reverse engineer what I've done. I have, number one, looked at her goal first and sought out from her where she wants to start. I will often cheer for her for the things she's doing great. And then I will lay out expectations for how much time this is going to take in a way that allows her to know that we're in this together. We're going to keep refining it. She's going to get a subscription. She's going to change the products. I'm going to give her support in a group setting where she can learn from other people. This is where every team member is so important, because even if you're enjoying your products and you're never telling anybody, your comments, your stories, they matter, because we're all in this. Okay. And so that's where I show her where the support's going to come from. And then I set it up to open the next layer of the conversation. Either she's off and running and she's willing to work the system, which is to start using her Send, Share, Invite with her app, because she can get those free credits, right? But that could be not right that second. The goal is to get her going, but the next steps is to open her world up into sharing, right? Through her Engage app. But if I overwhelm her with all of that, it depends on the human. If she's like, okay, you know what? I can think of 3 accountability people right now, and there's money on the table. Yeah, I'm going. And then other people you're slowly developing. And by slowly, I mean over the first week. But you planted the seeds in the first hour, and you're going to keep developing them. Okay. And your gut will tell you, this is someone that's already been in business. She's looking for this. She's getting it quickly. She sees the bonuses available and she's going to run. And then other people, that she's got this big family and she's going to have support and you're developing it. So know that the direction is still the same spot. You're still moving her towards Send, Share, and Invite.
Yes.
But how you get her there is some layers and some dancing. But because I now have notes on her or him, I have the privilege of building that piece of the relationship so that in the long haul, we can create that accountability. And if she should come back and say, you know what, I don't even like this. Well, are you open? Like I'm always asking, are you open to changing the flavor? Are you open to putting it over ice? Are you opening it to blending with Slim? Are you opening it to put it in a lean shake? Are you opening it to make gummies? Okay, so I want her to get where she or he wants to go. These are powerful tools. This is the vehicle. And I know that they're effective. Okay. So those are the questions. Those are the frameworks. That's the why. Go back, rewatch the video. Go pull those 5 basic things that I do out. Practice them. And it's really okay to miss a piece. And I literally sit with people and take notes. And then I put information in Engage.